And welcome to Shh Don't Tell Mum. My name's Barney.
And I'm Jamie Lisa.
And this is the #1 parenting podcast in the world.
Don't Google that.
Well, as you can see, we are back in our guest podcast studio and we're very excited to be joined by our second guest. Should we do a little rundown of who our guest is, Jamie?
Yes, we shall. That was the drum roll, by the way.
That was the drum roll for me.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, this man next to me, hunk of mountain, hunk of rock, steel, and everything that comes in between. He is the Bachelor from 2019 and the only Bachelor from the UK. He's well embarrassed about that, and I love it, Jamie.
And also, he's perfect for a Head and Shoulders campaign. Well, he was when he had beautiful, long locks.
Those long, luscious locks were something for one of those Head and Shoulders campaigns. And now you're just like every other schmo. Please welcome Alex Marks to the Shhh Don't Tell Mum podcast.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me. That was a hell of an introduction.
We didn't actually, rehearse
the
that.
Timotei guy, I want to bring that back. Just Head and Shoulders. Yeah, never got the call up for them, but I'll go for Timotei next time.
Okay,
yeah, if I grow the hair out again.
How about Tinky Winky?
Tinky Winky. I know, the purple.
We went big purple today.
Big purple, yeah. I thought I was Lala, but apparently, no, Tinky Winky.
Tinky Winky.
Apparently
Don't worry.
not.
What am I? Poe? Not Poe. That's
yeah,
red.
That's you.
You're green.
There you go.
You're a bogey.
Yeah,
Let's just be honest.
Full on bogey snot right there. Sorry.
Now, I think that more importantly for you, you are the creator, founder of On Your Marks Coaching.
That's me.
That is you.
Yeah, play on the words there. Alex Marks, On Your Marks, personal training, pre and postnatal personal training specialist. And I have an online business and then a solely one-to-one small group personal training studio in the heart of Southwest London, Clapham Junction.
Oh.
So yeah,
The
that's
heart of Southwest. Clapham Junction.
That's it. It's the heart of Southwest London.
Definitely
where
not, is it?
Vernos is.
That's SW4, I'm SW11. So
Wow,
but
is
I
it that
did.
far
Do you know
apart?
what? It's really bad. We were having this discussion the other week. I think I went in 2000 and let me get this right. 2012. Probably went 35 weekends of the year to Inverness.
Oh, no, you didn't.
You are
It's bad.
that's post-grad haven.
I was that. Yeah, exactly. Not ready to give up on the university vibes, but just still heading out, having the Jaeger bombs. Yeah.
So did you study at uni, like postpartum conditioning?
No, I didn't. No, it was something that came to me. I can definitely share the story as to how, I guess, a 6'6" male personal trainer got involved in that whole sort of pre-post world. But no, I did physical education at university. I decided very quickly that I didn't actually want to work with young children because they seemed like hard work. So then chose a lot of different elective...
Deal with the mothers instead of the children.
Yeah, exactly. Ones that you can hand back and not have to deal with for, 8 hours a day. So no, just chose lots of cool little different biomechanics and fun sort of like modules that I enjoyed learning about.
Okay. How long did it take you to train? Say that.
Oh, do you know what? There's so many qualifications out there that you can do in 6 weeks. But so I've redone my level 3, level 4 personal training qualifications and have a number of different specialist qualifications with some training providers that don't even exist anymore. But I'm obviously very much still clued up and I work with clinical referrals through a number of women's physiotherapists as well. So really do work on that whole sort of reconditioning of the female body postpartum and obviously keep a keen eye on clients that may want to train with me during their pregnancy as well.
Because that's a big thing that I found. I found a lot of hate for training with my Peloton while I was pregnant. And I remember a woman gave me a tip. She was like, swim during your pregnancy because it will really help when you have the birth of your baby. And I had a great birth. My birth was really, really quick. We didn't have any complications. And I do think that was because I was trying to keep as fit as I possibly could and I swam. Is there anything about that scientifically wise?
Well, I mean, every single human body is shaped slightly differently. Okay, so we've got to understand here is that there's not one linear plan that is going to help every single woman that's pregnant throughout their pregnancy. It is advantageous to already be fit and healthy, to sort of have a easier transition back postpartum to the shape and athletic ability of your body. But again, we've got to be very clear about, I've got to be very sort of clinical in answering a lot of these questions because I don't want to generalize anything. And there are very different little categories that we can talk about on, what people want to do versus what they should do. And really that's where I sort of sit with that degree of, I guess, integrity around postpartum personal training. But if we're talking about pre, whilst you're pregnant, I think it's very important to put your mental health first. So do the exercise that you enjoy the most as often as you can to keep a a good, healthy respiratory system. So good relationship with both your lungs and heart. I think that's the most important thing.
Wow.
You've also then got to monitor your heart rate. You don't want to be too high heart rate or spike your heart rate at certain stages of your pregnancy. And if you want any more information on this, it's all available. If you want to contact me through my Instagram and through my website, I can talk to you about different training zones, etc. But for me, I think the big key highlight and the one message that I put across to anybody that's interested in exercising during pregnancy is to do the one exercise that you enjoy and that causes you least grief. Now, that is for somebody that might be new to exercise and that doesn't regularly exercise. However, if you're training consistently and if you're training at a degree of intensity that might be perceived as above the average, there is no real reason for you to scale back a great amount. If you've got to think about, we've had, centuries of women being pregnant, and once upon a time they might have been baling hay and in the fields and working physiologically quite to a high demand. I think there is a degree also of this mollycoddling and being very precious around the female pregnancy body, there's absolutely a place in conversation for that. But I think it's really important to understand that actually the body is a very resilient thing. And we are very capable of doing a lot more than we think. So my golden rule, for anyone watching, I don't know which camera I'm supposed to be looking at.
That one.
There's so many. Is just monitor your heart rate. If you're cautious or conscious that you might be out of breath, then scale it back. Take your seat. Certainly shouldn't be passing out. Certainly shouldn't be sweating too much. In my personal training sessions, 1-to-1, I will work you up to a sweat, but not past it. I think that's a nice measure.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Makes sense. Yeah, I think that when I spoke to Jamie about this when Jamie was pregnant, and we got advice from various other people that work within like the physical world, work as personal trainers. A lot of them just said, try not to introduce too many new exercises to what you don't already currently do. So like you said, stick with what you know, stick with what you're comfortable with. Don't push yourself too much, but you can still exercise. And fortunately for me and Jamie, Jamie actually goes to the gym regularly anyway and does a variety of exercises, squats, bench, whatever. So we just didn't.
She's up there doing 100
She really
kilo bench
is
press.
like 120 easy.
I'm like,
Easy.
I love weights. It's my favourite thing to do, other than Peloton. Like, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Also, the Peloton's really expensive, so I have to use it. Like, I have no excuse over that.
but we bought it. We got it during lockdown, which was the optimal time to get it,
It's
obviously.
great.
So we had to just like jump on it as much as we could.
So
But
I don't do any
it's definitely
cardio at
good.
the gym unless it's like pushing the sled or the ropes. That's the only cardio I ever do.
Yeah.
Because
It's a
my
sled
heart
push
rate.
cardio.
Yeah. 100%.
I'd say that's just like
and walking
kills.
lunges. That's cardio. My heart burns with walking lunges.
Yeah.
Oh my
What
gosh.
I think people also, I'm just going to jump on what you said there because I absolutely love it, Jamie, is that resistance training is absolutely the one.
Yeah.
It is for everything.
Okay. And I love that the whole sort of like Instagram is fantastic. And I think, COVID and lockdown really highlighted that resistance training is widely accepted and now massively accessible to a lot of people and is an attractive thing to do because women have now got the understanding that actually they really can sculpt their body and get it to almost exactly how they might want. And obviously they've got lots of points of references with female influencers, fantastic bodies on Instagram. So there is that sort of that target, that motivation and influence, and that's brilliant. But again, if we draw it back to prenatal personal training.
Yes, yeah.
I don't think anyone should be conscious about losing body fat. That's definitely not something that you should be doing during pregnancy because putting yourself in a calorie deficit means that there is less available energy for you to grow a healthy body, also to give you enough energy to get through the day because it is incredibly taxing.
Oh
I'm
my
sure
God.
you
And
felt
your
it.
lungs. Like, I remember the only way I figured out I was pregnant was doing F45 class and getting so out of breath after the first exercise. And normally it takes me about 30 minutes to really
About a
like
quarter of the way through.
be like, oh my God, this 5 minutes in, I was dying. And I went, this is not normal. I'm either got cancer, unfortunately, or I'm dying of something, or I'm pregnant.
That's such a dramatic way
I'm
to
a
go. You just
dramatic
went to cancer
person.
from nowhere.
I know,
What
because
just
I was
happened?
scared, because that's how abrupt it was for the lungs. And then did a pregnancy test, found out I was pregnant. It was literally through my breath I found out I was pregnant.
Breath. Through your breath.
Being out of breath from
And I wasn't in the country. Yeah, exactly. I could
Yeah.
smell it.
Smell of
I
pregnancy. in your
remember
breath.
calling my friend being like, I'm dying. This is it.
Oh my God.
And she was like, what? I was like, I've never, ever experienced anything so exhausting in my life from that last exercise. I don't know what is wrong, but something is not right in my body. And I couldn't get through the class. It was just, I was fatigued. I was exhausted as well because you get so tired. Yeah. All of this, and you forget when you're pregnant. You're not just, so when you see a pregnant woman, let her sit on the train, on the seat, because a lot of people still don't, which is mad, even with a badge.
Yeah, it's out of order. Yeah.
Do you know why your heart rate spikes so much when you're pregnant?
Why?
Because you have that much more blood in your body.
Oh, I've heard this. This is why orgasms are better as well. It's a thing.
She
It's a
went
thing.
there. She went there.
My guy.
I'm not kidding you. I've spoken to every pregnant woman. I'm like, fuck, the orgasms are great.
This is great to know as a single
I bet it is. I bet it is.
Hold on.
Well, you're going to start targeting pregnant women.
Hold on. Yeah, okay, great. Hold on. I've got to scale that back. Well, please don't use that. I'm not. Okay, this is the worst thing as well. This is so bad because, okay,
It's true,
there's
though.
a running joke in my family. My brothers and my two older brothers who are both married with kids, they're like, oh, you're still single, Alex? I'm like, yes. Are you still working with pregnant women? And I'm like, yes. How many of the kids are yours? And I'm like, no.
Oh my gosh.
Bang
Rule
out
number
of
one, and I'll
order.
tell you this, the
Of course.
first week as a personal trainer in Clapham Junction, at Fitness First Clapham Junction, I got quite chummy with this personal trainer called Gus, and I thought he was a really cool guy, and he was telling me that he was sleeping with like 2 or 3 of his clients that were all members here, and I was like, oh my God, that's a bit much, and I thought, oh, maybe,
Poor
he's
Gus.
still a nice guy. And then they all cornered him at the same place and got fired on the spot, and then from literally in front of me, and I was like, rule number one, don't
That's
shit,
it.
Don't shit where you eat.
Don't shit where
Well, I've
you eat.
said this for
Can
years.
I just reiterate? I mean, I'm sure
Of
this
course,
hopefully
yeah,
doesn't
don't
get
worry.
cut up
No.
too much. I have never and would never
Yeah.
cross that line with any of my
Good,
clients.
don't
so,
shit where you eat. So
Yeah,
my
exactly,
main
full
rule as
stop.
well.
No, I totally get
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Jeez.
But I'm telling you,
The panic. We're talking about orgasms. I'm giving you fist bumps, and then
The
all of a sudden I
blood.
have to explain myself.
it's true though. It's. Do you have a lot of? I've noticed actually on your Instagram that you have a lot of babies that join in with the fitness. Like they'll be laying on their mats, and then you'll be training the
Joining
mum.
with the
That's
fitness.
such a
You
good
mean
idea.
they're just there while the mum is
Yeah, I know, but half of the reason why I'm still not up to where I want to be is because I've got a baby.
Yeah.
I wish there were more creches in gyms because it's really hard
That would
to.
be really helpful. I mean, I guess you've got to go to quite a luxury gym, and we don't, unfortunately, live in that
I
luxury
Googled
area. We
it.
could go and live in Kensington if you want. Do
That is the only one. Virgin.
you want to open an
Virgin
OnlyFans?
Kensington, they have a crash.
So we can afford to live in Kensington?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Only grands? That's you, babe.
Thanks, babes.
So, one thing that I have to say is that one thing that myself and Jamie have spoken about previously, that something you may not know, even though we're talking about pre and post-partum reconditioning and exercise, did you know you can exercise your vagina before birth? I think we're here to
I don't
educate
think he
you,
ever really
Alex.
needs to know this.
Because, you know, people who may be a little bit nervous about giving birth, as well a lot of people should be or are, there's something you can use called an Annie ball. Now, a bit of education from a dad
Or
to a
Epi-no.
non-dad yet.
Which is epidural no.
Okay, or an Epi-no. It's essentially the same thing. There's a little rubber balloon, like a thick rubber balloon, that you squish and you put up the old woo-hoo,
And then pump it up.
and then you pump it up, and then they express that balloon using their
Perineal
muscles,
muscle.
nothing else, perineal muscle, and then every time you do it, you go a little bit bigger with it, and a little bit bigger, and a bit bigger, and it's training the muscles for birth. How cool is that?
That's mind-blowing.
Did you know that?
Did you
I
know
didn't know
that?
that. No,
Yeah.
no, I
It's
didn't.
a new thing on
I
the
would
market.
say if you
and
have
we- on the market.
pregnant people that you're like, well, that could be a suggestion, because it really helped us. I will say, actually, it really did help.
And funnily enough, the midwife, the only one that disagreed with it was an older midwife. And she
Sure.
went, did that even work? And I was like, well, we'll see. I haven't pushed the baby out yet. So come back to me after I've pushed the baby out.
I mean, I guess there's no reference point with or without.
Yeah.
And I think it would be hard to as well, because first pregnancy is going to be different to the second or
It
second
stops
child.
And
you
everyone's
ripping,
body, yeah.
basically. That's one of the things. Your
James,
perineum
I think
stops you
yeah.
the
ripping.
science is sound from my understanding is that you could imagine that your vagina is going to be slightly more receptive to being pushing out a baby, having had sort of that experience.
Well,
that
it's training the muscle.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
That's I mean that's news to me. Well,
Bish,
yeah.
bash,
I mean,
bosh.
look, I mean, I'm not going to, say much more on that subject because I neither have a vagina or a
He's going to
child.
bring it in as a tool now to all his clients.
That's what I'm saying.
Be
Like, it's like a good suggestion of like, by the way, something that could
Can you show me how you
aid
use it?
you. Yeah, do you want me to?
Yeah,
do you want to do the physical as well?
Yeah,
You should have brought it.
No, every episode that myself and Jamie do, we love to talk about similar subjects each time because as time progresses, we have these little segments that we talk about and we love to get our guests about them. We get fresh insight into these topics of conversation. And our first one is...
TikTok turn-offs.
TikTok turn-offs.
So how is your TikTok experience at the moment?
Do you use TikTok?
Okay, so I have a TikTok.
Okay.
Right? We'll go very quickly through this.
Okay.
It was a lockdown thing. It now is not. Okay, it was a lockdown thing. My old housemate, who's incredibly handsome, very lucky to be going to his wedding this summer in August in France, and we were live and cooking breakfast together on Instagram. And it was very sweet.
We saw this video.
Did you? Oh, no. Right, well, this is it. So this is the highlight. This is the rundown.
The rundown.
One comment that was like, you guys are so cute. Take your shirt off. And we were like, oh, okay, yeah.
Was this a live?
We were on Instagram live just being like, how's everyone doing this morning? Because we're both personal trainers, and we were cooking eggs and avocado on sourdough. Classic.
Of course you were.
Classic.
You're so Clapham Junction.
Yeah, so Clapham Junction. Skip to Whole Foods in the morning, grab your cappuccino, come back, make breakfast. Anyway, then we sort of like the live ended and I looked at that comment and I was like, oh, maybe they want to do this again. So then they were like, oh, you guys should, and we're doing a little bit of a dance. We just like did a little left to right, like a 4-step and then, or 2-step, whatever it is. And then, and then it just evolved from there that we were getting song requests. Could you sing and dance to these songs? And then maybe you should like take your shirt off, Joe. And before we knew it, we were putting Instagram polls up saying, what song would you like us to dance to next?
Yeah.
Cut a long story short, the most requested song was Pony Genuine.
Good old Magic Mike
the
moment.
whole Magic Mike moment. And okay, so this is it. So I think I can dance. Joe can dance. I think I can dance. He took it very seriously. Ordered a thong. Thong for the big reveal. So he was very frustrated with me for about 10 days trying to get the steps right. And obviously I was thinking I was really cool. I mean, I was literally shagging my countertop, my kitchen countertop in the background of some of these videos. Anyway, obviously it went viral, 1.8 million views later. Joe then obviously finds the love of his life. She says absolutely not, which I completely understand with and was very happy with. And since then, we've not done any more TikToks. I've tried to put a few fitness bits and pieces up there, but my followers just went, no, now you've lost your long hair and are not dancing around naked in your kitchen. We don't want to know.
You know what's quite funny? We've noticed with TikTok, so we've done a few experiments with it.
Right, okay.
And TikTok go off what was popular on your page.
Yes.
So if you started doing TikTok dances and then got topless by the end, mate, you'd go viral
You'd
again.
Be cashing in.
Yeah. We can send you. We did loads of dances on TikTok, didn't we? We're obsessed with. I'm obsessed with TikTok dances.
It's just
I love it.
predominantly what we use at the moment is TikTok. So we call this segment of the show TikTok turn-offs because it's essentially we surf through TikTok, whatever the algorithm feeds you. We discuss the things that we really despise seeing. So we can kind of lean into the more Instagram side of things on your explore page or, people possibly that you follow. When you're scrolling and you see a certain type of video, what really just sends you fuming? So we have different things every week. I saw this on TikTok, absolutely hated it. What for you really turns you off about your Instagram?
Oh, man. Where do we start?
Exactly. There's always so much.
I literally could open the book on this.
Yeah.
Right, let's go in.
Let's go.
Should we go in?
Okay, you get 3 because we're not going to drag it too much.
Okay,
you get 3.
I'll do it really quickly. Quick fire. Influencers saying, this is how you do something right. This is how you're doing something wrong. And then the right demonstration is wrong.
Okay.
Right?
An example?
I won't say names.
You can't say, no, obviously, as an example of the actual thing that it was.
Oh, just the Bulgarian split squat. Are you aware what the Bulgarian
I know what the Bulgarian
split
split, yeah.
Viewers at home, it's one of the most disgusting pieces of resistance training that you can do.
Should we try and guess what it is? Bulgarian split squat is when you have one leg up on a piece of equipment, elevated. And at a 90-degree angle or, I don't know, more.
Got you.
But a split squat with elevated is Bulgarian split squat. It sends your heart rate through the roof.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's like big for the glutes, big for the quads or hamstrings, depending on how you demonstrate it.
Okay.
And it just, more often than not, the influencer, it just does it wrong. And you're just like, for goodness sake. And they're normally got 100,000 followers on Instagram and TikTok, and making a shed ton of money from their online subscriptions. Meanwhile, this guy who loves one-to-one personal training and is, has like 14,000 followers, which is still pretty good.
Yeah, of course.
But knows his SHIT because he's been doing it for 10 years, 12 years, and it's just a bit frustrating.
So these influencers are like, you mean fitness influencers that have online coaching and all this stuff? Yeah.
Normally female, normally like, super hot and sexy, which is credit to them, but just like get the demonstration right.
Yeah.
Why don't you
go
and train
it's
them?
5 minutes of homework.
Have you ever messaged them and gone, can I show you how to actually do a Bulgarian split squat? Not in a sexual way.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're going to think that he's trying to get them on a date.
No, he just wants to train them properly.
Well, it's very hard for me to do that because then I look like an arrogant arse. And,
how do you do it without
you just can't. I just come on here and just complain about them. That's much easier.
Exactly. We'll have you back plenty of times.
Well,
mate.
listen, I like education. Like I have a lot of one-to-one brand new beginners, and I have people that want to sort of be reintroduced into the gym, which is, I guess, very similar to the whole postpartum reintroduction to the gym. And this is how you should exercise and correct your posture so that actually you don't cause more harm to your body after childbirth and stretched abdomens, weak glutes, etc. So I'm very I've got a really good set of eyes. Okay, these are good eyes.
2020, baby.
Well, they're not. I have an astigmatism. But what I mean is they're trained in what's good and what's bad. Yeah.
Great set of eyes.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they're all right.
Yeah.
Glasses.
This one's great. This one, I can't see anything out of this.
Oh, wow, really?
Well, I'm not looking for sympathy.
Amazing. I mean, you have 2 more turn-offs to go. So you've got the influencers that do the Bulgarian split squat.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'll give you 2 more.
There.
Okay.
Hit me.
3 best exercises for fat loss. Do you guys get? Do you understand what I'm saying?
James Smith
this
does
is very
it a
James
lot.
Smith. This is very James Smith.
It's very James Smith. Now look,
I do like
James Smith
him,
and his
though.
message. Sometimes I actually don't follow him or Darren anymore.
Oh, okay.
Because I find it very intimidating. Their success sort of like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's
it's quite hard for me to sort of deal with.
He also made like a living off of shitting on people, and it's a little bit. I get what he's doing though, but it's a little bit.
He was very controversial in his approach to, and what he did was attract a brilliant audience, and his message was absolutely fantastic, both of them, and I can't deny that, but I just can't. I'm an empath, so I can't stand constant repetition of putting people down, even if the message is worthwhile.
Positive one.
Is a positive one. So like I think there's like something to do with my parents drilling in like a moral high ground of doing what's right, not necessarily like doing what's right by the person that needs the help. So I just feel like the conversational approach I can't physically do. I just can't be rude to a person in front of me. I have to be softly, and that isn't always the way it needs to be.
Sure.
So although I absolutely love the message, I just didn't like the delivery, but I also value the delivery method in which they've used because it has attracted a wider audience, and everybody who has otherwise always been mollycoddled is now better off for their messages.
Yeah.
But to draw it back to the 3 best exercises for fat loss.
Yes.
When you see like V-Shred in America, who's like this big
man, I know.
This guy is?
No, he is. Yeah,
he's like, your hormones and this, that, and I'm like, you're confusing absolutely everybody.
Yeah,
by talking absolute gibberish and then selling them a plan.
Yeah, and making it seem like what your knowledge is so surpassed what everyone else is.
Yeah,
that
so
you overcomplicate your delivery. Yeah,
yeah, that's it. Overcomplicating the message so that people are left confused and just intrigued because, oh my God, you look great.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got thousands of testimonials and before and after photos.
But that's
cool. So like the thing is, for me, any methodology that gets you from A to B, if you want to, is great. However, if they're not sustainable, then do one. You know, there has to be a degree of, I think, morality and integrity behind, okay, we're going to get you from A to B, but for you to sustain B, this is what you then need to do. That bit is never, ever covered. Anyway, just to draw back as we're jumping around the page, the reason I hate camera 1, 2, and 3, the reason I hate 3 best exercises for fat loss is that there is no one best exercise for fat loss.
Exactly.
It's a calorie deficit, which I know has been drilled into you 1,000 times across all of the Instagram. But please, if you want to take control of fat loss, get a dietitian or find a decent plan or a coach that you are inspired by and can put your faith into and has a proven track record of helping clients from perhaps similar backgrounds to yours with similar stories to yours and just sit with that. That's what you need to do.
One thing that really confuses me about all these, because a lot of fitness trainers now are doing the apps thing. So you'll fill in all your details, your weight, etc., and then they'll send you a plan. Now, what I find really hard is the fact that I have really long legs and I have a really short body. So when I gain weight, it goes right on my torso. But I can't write that into the fucking app, how short my body is and how long my legs are.
Yeah.
So the problem is if I do a certain exercise, I don't want to make myself really like chunky on the top because I'm really short body. When I had an actual PT on a 1-to-1, she was like, okay, we need to open your back up a bit because your shoulders roll slightly. Yeah. These tweaks, I'm like, how do we get that into an app without having to see?
That's the difficult.
So there's two things you've said there, and I'm going to break it down. This is really
myth busting.
Nice. I like it. Bust those myths.
One, absolutely everybody loses body fat in exactly the same way.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
So
it's a full
body experience. Yeah. You can't decide to lose fat on your stomach. You can't decide to lose fat on your stomach 1 week and then your legs the next. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So when you add a little bit of weight, it might appear there, but the methodology to get off is exactly the same.
Right.
Okay. However, to take it another step further is if you're on an app and you don't have that degree of accountability and understanding, it's probably because the coach is poo. And hasn't asked the right questions. It's also perhaps a little bit on you to have not communicated that to your coach.
Yeah.
So for me, as a postpartum personal trainer and somebody that works with people with fat loss and muscle gain, the first thing that I actually do is address postural imbalances. So there's a thing called, this is very sciencey, so bear with.
Yeah.
You have a thing called lower cross syndrome and upper cross syndrome. Lower cross syndrome is your hips. Upper cross is your shoulders and chest. So you will have tight hip flexors and tight lower back if you have a weak core and weak glutes.
So clever.
Right?
Okay.
So if you strengthen your glutes and strengthen your core, then it becomes much easier for you to stand taller, sit taller, and therefore move much more functionally. So your squat will become better, your deadlifts will become better, and as a result, you'll be a much more athletic person. Now, the same can be said for your upper body. Weak neck muscles and tight chest, and weak mid-back and tight upper back. If we uncross the upper cross syndrome again, you'll have a much better posture, you'll sit taller and again be able to operate more functionally. And that obviously has an effect in your day-to-day life, your career, your ability to make a more confident phone call or present better in a meeting, whatever it might be. Okay, so there's a lots of radiation from just fitness into your natural life. So for me, that's something that I will assess with all of my online clients and certainly all my one-to-one clients, and even more importantly, with any postpartum clients, because as a mum, as you'll know, your chest will get bigger, your shoulders will round forwards, you're constantly carrying
That's what
babies.
I've found with me. I'm
your
like
back
this
will get
now.
weaker.
Yeah.
So you're in this anterior shoulder glide. Okay, we want to make sure that your mid-back gets pulled back together, and as a result, your chest will be taller and leaner and longer. Your collarbones will come out as well when you start to drop body fat. And that's the same apply for the lower body. So there is a degree of assessment that has to come with both online coaching, which isn't always the case, which is, again, I guess, my number 3, my third point for things that I don't like seeing online. That, yes, you have to have that physiological assessment to see what are the first things that need to be addressed. Because number 4, here we go, it's all coming now, is that many plans that are sold to women especially, and perhaps sometimes there might be a case of postpartum mums thinking, well, I've had my NHS sign-off, my 6-week check, so I can return back to exercise. And then they'll go straight back into high-intensity interval training, your F45 classes, which I don't have an issue with. However, before that, it's definitely worth going to see a women's physiotherapist to check that absolutely everything else is going on downstairs, pelvic floor health is good and healthy and moving in the right direction. But then also, with that same women's physiotherapist or a coach like myself, a pre- and postpartum qualified personal trainer will have that assessment to say, yes, you've got tight hips. Yes, your glutes are under-functioning. Let's get them really active. So all those banded pieces of work and other bits and pieces to gain that motor muscle connection with your glutes will put you in a much better position to, 1, move more functionally, 2, be healthier for your child, and 3, eventually turn your body into a muscle-strong and fat-burning machine.
This is amazing. You know
if
what?
you did that first and then approach that scaled intensity back into exercise postpartum, get into your F45, back onto the Peloton bike, you might want to start to go running, other bits and pieces. You are in a much better position to be able to go from, I use this term really expressively, so please don't take this literally, from zero to hero, okay? Because a lot of people try to run before they can walk.
Of course, yeah.
And I guess my biggest message, and I really hope this gets transferred across into camera, onto all of your socials, is that there has to be a degree of self-care. And jumping straight back into an old exercise plan or joining a friend because they really love this instructor because they've got such a great vibe and, you'll really enjoy your first session back. It's all well and good, but just have that reality check, have that conversation with yourself, have that conversation with a women's physiotherapist and perhaps someone like me.
I haven't done that yet. I actually haven't done that yet, which is mad. And I remember an experience
I'm just going to say this now. I did tell you to come and find me.
Yeah, we had an incident when we were doing surf yoga beer where I couldn't do the ab workout, and the trainer that was coming around went, "Why can't you do it? Why can't you?" I was like, "I literally had a baby 6 months ago," and then Alex stood up and was like, "Yeah, she can't do that because she's coning and obviously you get ab separation that lots of people don't know." I thought coning was a funny thing for 6 months. I was like, "Guys, look at my coning." Didn't realise I was damaging my muscles.
Yeah.
Because no one talks about it. No one talks about it.
Well, the thing is, there's information out there, but you've got to go and find it.
Yeah.
It's not immediately obvious. However, if you're pregnant or just a new mum, please go and follow women's physiotherapists online.
There's a girl called Bell Method. Have you seen her? She's really good, an American chick. And she's all about, I'll show you her. She's incredible. And she'll do how to stop coning, the certain exercises you can do. But a lot of the time, I'll find myself doing it completely wrong. Yeah. Because I'm trying to follow it on social media.
Well, I'd love to have you at the studio. Barn, let's put you both through the same exercise and let's see what...
I'm down.
I guarantee you'll be in bits by the end of it. Okay? Because it's just do you remember, have you ever done a Pilates session?
No, but my dad does. And he said it is so difficult.
It's
so hard.
I did my first Pilates session about 8 years ago and I've never been back because it was too hard. Okay? I'm not even joking. It's so hard. And then I realised that, and I use that as a point of reference in my head when I see clients that I'm working with, I'm like, I'm really pushing them. I need to ease off, certainly in the first first few sessions back into postpartum reconditioning. So what I'd love to do is invite you down to the studio. I'll put you through the same workout. It'll be really, really fun.
Nice.
But just some basic exercises that perhaps will help some of your viewers get an understanding about what you can do at home with absolutely no equipment to really help you out. So a lot of Pilates-based exercises that help strengthen your core, glutes, and then perhaps have a little look at some of the exercises that you can do to strengthen your upper body as well.
I'm definitely that X above one because I get all the tense.
I was going to say, speaking of our viewers, if you're watching, if you listen to this on YouTube or on our podcast, or if you see our clips on TikTok, one thing I wanted to ask you is, speaking blanketly, which I know you probably don't like to do because you don't want to generalize because everyone is so different. But typically from what you see pre and postpartum when you're reconditioning these individuals, is there kind of across the board thing that people can do in terms of exercises pre and exercises post from a generic rule of thumb for, helping uncross the upper and the lower? What would you typically say to people to maybe start doing at home before they even come to you, or always come to a professional first, I imagine is the best answer?
Yeah, I think caveat, definitely if you're unfamiliar with resistance training, definitely hire a coach that definitely knows a lot to do with pre-postpartum personal training and resistance training. But if I was to say that there are two exercises for you to focus on your lower body, it would first be a dead bug. Your feet are in what Pilates term is tabletop position, and you're just moving your legs away from the center point of your, from your core. So it adds stress to your core.
Dead bug on the floor, so it's like a turtle. You're on the back.
Yeah, like a dead bug. Exactly. I don't know why, but I'm stuck in a glass of emotion.
Austin Powers.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad you said that. Otherwise, that was going to look really weird.
And we're giving away our age
really
there.
Weird. Yeah,
massively.
No, so we are. Yeah,
says the 31-year-old. Jesus Christ.
We're okay over here.
We're 5 years away from 40. Let's just
Oh, wow.
Stop.
Wow.
I'm going to be 36 this summer.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, Mum slapped me this weekend. She was like,
Okay.
Alex, I want to meet your grandchildren. Your children.
Don't rush
I was
it.
like, "Oh,
Honestly,
okay."
find the right partner,
Mum.
because it does
let's
make
not talk about my
add
single
stress.
status. We're getting digression. Okay, so hold on, back onto it.
Dead bug.
Focus on a dead bug
Gotcha.
because that will draw a muscle called the transverse abdominis. It's basically a cling film style muscle that wraps around beneath your rectus abdominis, your six pack. Okay, and that's the one muscle that gets stretched an awful lot and holds your baby in place during pregnancy. Okay, so once you have a relationship with that exercise, with that muscle, you can do what's called an anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. Okay, so that's your alignment of your pelvis beneath your spine and shoulders. Once we've got that sorted, the next lower body exercise that I would absolutely inspire people to learn how to do is your Romanian deadlift.
Yeah.
Okay,
RDLs.
which is an RDL, which stresses the hamstring, the glutes, which is again a really aesthetic
love
muscle to
RDLs, are
train
my
at the moment,
fave.
and your lower back. So once you've got a decent core strength in your front of your abdomen and able to recruit your posterior chain, lower back, glutes and hamstrings, that will in itself put you in a really brilliant physiological position to carry further weight. And aesthetically, those are big muscles which will help drop body fat, okay? And shape your buttocks and whatever it is you might want. Buttocks? Where did that word come from? Shape your bum.
Gluteus maximus.
Gluteus
Shape your
maximus.
buttocks.
Yeah, so dead bugs and RDLs, and then upper body. I would actually train your neck. I know it sounds really
Interesting.
similar. I know everyone
How do you train
hides.
your neck?
Well, you hide away like everyone. No one wants to see like a triple chin. But there's some really cool exercises that you can do lying on your back, which actually like helps you crunch your neck muscles, which will help you sit taller. Because again, everybody all the
Chin
time
down
is
the
like
whole
chin
day,
down.
yeah.
Is that
long
going to
neck.
affect us from like
Yeah,
evolution? That's what
Evolutionally,
I'm-
we're going to be like
Like
hunched
this.
over, chin down.
Yeah.
Going to be walking with our heads down. We're not going to have
Exactly.
those rear neck muscles that pull everything up.
Yeah, so if you strengthen the muscles through your neck, you'll sit taller. Your sternocleidomastoids. Which
Wow,
are like
what is it again?
Sternocleidomastoid.
Sternocleidomastoid.
Talk sexy to me. This
Yeah,
is great.
talk
I love
dirty to me,
this.
boy.
And then
Not just the pretty faces, you girls.
not even that. And then your mid traps. So
It's got bigger tits than you, that's for sure.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Can you
that.
juggle yours?
I can actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
baby.
Okay,
Jamie,
Look
your
at me
turn.
go. Jamie, come
I
on. You're doing
can't.
chest exercises. Come
I know.
on.
Yeah,
I'm
where's this bench
trying.
exercise
Exactly,
you're
I thought
talking
she-
about?
Guys, I do have
120.
padding between this and... Actually, do I have padding today? Yeah, I have a bit of padding. Oh, God, it's getting really
The male
hot in
viewers
here.
are like, yep, this is what I'm here for.
It's getting hot now, apparently. What? You're bonkers.
Mid traps. So, like any retraction work that you can do through your shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're protracted, you're in this anterior shoulder glide. You can see how my shoulders are rolled forwards here. We want to set them back and down. So, putting your shoulder blades into sort of like your rear pockets of your jeans. Okay, so
Nice.
any retraction work to strengthen your chest.
good, isn't it?
and
This is
then
good.
everything. That's what I would
It's
say.
really like educational for us. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're not a gym goer, don't be disheartened by any of the stuff you're listening to. This is actually very educational for you as well, and especially if you or your partner are planning on getting pregnant, currently pregnant, or have given birth. It's never too late to go back to the fitness side of things.
But
And like
100%.
Alex has already
Yeah.
said, you don't even need equipment at home. Obviously, you can check out his stuff and you can just
Yeah.
basically see what you can do.
But you know what? A lot of people are scared to get pregnant because they're worried about what their body is going to turn into. And I really, I feel so sorry for that mindset because your body will change naturally. It really will. But if you get the right trainer, mate, you can do anything that you want to do. Get the right trainer, get the right advice. Stop looking on Instagram for all these silly little things and actually get a personal trainer to help you that is educated in the reconditioning of, postpartum.
Can I jump in and add something there
Yeah.
as well? For a lot of people feel like exercise is a huge intervention in their life. It's like an additional thing that I need to worry about. It's something else that I need to add into my already busy schedule, especially if they've got a new baby. And like for a lot of people, I think that it's just they think that it's completely unattainable for them. And that can be through budget, which is hugely into consideration. It can be environmental. And location-wise as well. They might not have access to a gym. They might not be in the right environment where, their whole family or friends are just all anti-gym and they just don't do that. So, I understand that there are some very real barriers to people being able to achieve a lot of the stuff that I've spoken to about today. But if I can just reiterate one thing, if you can fight those and find yourself in a position to be able to actually attain either a coach, or get to the gym and slowly start to inspire yourself to do some of the stuff that we've spoken to today, by all means approach me online at on.your.marks on my Instagram channel. I'd love to be able to help you. But I'd also like to just reiterate that there's real barriers, but there's also perceived barriers to exercise, and that is all down to you. That's all. I'm risk adverse. I don't want to do that. I've been told I can't do that. And sometimes I want to slap GPs around the face because they're very much anti doing this, but because their whole experience and their and even midwives to some degree, they're very much risk adverse, and they can only ever treat the symptoms of things that have gone wrong. I'll give you a small example. Somebody has said, "Oh, I've got weak wrists. I've been told that I've got weak wrists, so I shouldn't do anything." Or I've hurt my knee, so I've been told not to...
Told to rest it and then not touch it.
And then not touch it because I don't want it to get it worse and I don't want to go through that experience again.
Yeah.
So I'd rather not do it. That kills me.
Because you need to strengthen it.
Kills. You're absolutely right in that. But people then go 2, 3 years, 4, 5 years, perhaps their whole life, decades, thinking they cannot do something because somebody once said you should avoid doing that. And that is, for me, your whole life, decades, years, lost. Because exercise, as we all know and are very well aware, has a huge effect on your mental health, your confidence, your ability to interact socially.
That's what I was saying today.
Which just kills me, because I'm like, somebody some point has put a barrier in front of you that you believe to be true, and you have adopted that for the rest of your life, or a majority or a certain time. And I just feel like, get a second opinion. Put faith in your body's ability to heal and progress. But if you do have a knee injury, don't bloody avoid it.
Yeah.
Go and get strength in it.
Yeah.
The only way that you're going to be able to run, dodge, duck, dip and dive, again, what's the film?
Ben Stiller, Dodgeball.
Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
is all about getting it strong again. So please, if you have an injury or had an injury and you're just like, oh yeah, no, I can't do it, bollocks.
Yeah.
Go and get the appropriate help to you and turn that perceived barrier into a thing of the past.
So that's one thing. My grandfather's 95 years old, and he still does Pilates and yoga every single week.
He's a G.
And he is on it when it comes. He's got an Apple Watch that I bought him.
Amazing.
That he tracks everything, and he tracks his steps every single day, and he stays active, and his brain is really tapped in. And he really believes that when you're just sitting and watching TV, that gives you dementia. It also makes you really... Your health diminishes through just sitting.
You
and
just
doing nothing.
deteriorate slowly but surely.
It's
You're not
mad.
actively engaging with any of your muscles and stuff. And
But also, what I was saying this morning is we had a family intervention-y thing that happened, and we were talking about the fact that it wasn't a family intervention, but a comment was mentioned: "I don't look after your baby, so you can go to the gym." And we were very much, we won't say it, but we were very much going to the gym is part of our work and also our mental health. And that makes me a better mother and makes him a better father, that we train and we work out. And that is the older generation, unfortunately, misusing their limited mindset of fitness because it wasn't in there. They did the Jane Fonda and that was it. That was all they were given back in the day.
Oh, good old Jane and her step.
Oh, Jane.
So, unfortunately, we just need to break the stigma with the older generation. And the amount of times I heard from my own mother, why are you going for a run when you're pregnant? What are you doing?
Yeah, there is a generational prejudice, isn't there, to exercise.
Anyway. Let
bin them off anyway. Don't worry about it.
That's my TikTok turn off.
Yeah, well, look, let that knowledge die with that generation.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if you're 65 and, you know, like, no, there's evidence. Sorry, but read between the lines. Because we now know through a hell of a lot of more science that resistance training is so good for you, not just mentally, but also to muscles atrophy. Muscles die if you don't use them. Okay, so everybody from their 30s should be trying to pack on muscle as a rule number one.
Wow.
Let 60s, 70s, 80s, like Vogue, dieting, bullshit, let that die. Let that be a thing of the past.
Yeah.
And I love women's health and I love men's health because we're all starting to get a slight change in narrative on what should be spoken about during these articles. And it is very much about longevity, which is my big buzzword. A couple of years ago, it was all about community and like, let's all get around group fitness, which is fantastic. And it's broadened everybody's ability to attain exercise.
And we got COVID.
Yep.
And everyone's like, home Zoom workouts. Oh, shoot me.
Zoom workouts.
Hated
Bottle
them.
of wine in the evening.
I did one.
Every evening. Jesus. I think everyone became an alcoholic during COVID.
Yeah, but like longevity, like we're now, 35, like you guys have got a beautiful young family. You know, this is going to be part of this generation's legacy. Like I feel like although there is a huge percentage, if we look at our friends in the West, in the States, huge obesity problem. In the UK, yes, there's still an epidemic there as well. Some of it comes down to education, accessibility, etc. as well. But I think there is this precedent where actually people want to and are being want to lift weights, want to get strong because they're inspired to through what they've seen on Instagram.
Yeah.
And there's a huge sort of underlying body positivity message there that I think needs to come back into, the headlines again, saying, yes, body positivity, what is it? Okay, well, it's actually getting strong for yourself and for your future. So resistance training is definitely something that everybody needs to become very familiar with very quickly, because as you'll be aware, you both were like Bulgarian split squats, love to hate them. Romanian deadlifts, love them.
Yeah.
Like there is this conversation now where everyone's like, yeah, cool, get strong. Because it's awesome. And you guys will be living well into your 70s and 80s and active with Rocket. And, I don't know if you're planning another one, but, it's cool. It's really cool. So I think just let the old ones die with it. Old thought process.
You're pretty obviously outspoken here about like the things that you've experienced, obviously, as a professional in that space. Now, you must get, I would imagine, quite a few Karens in the comments is one of our segments that we like to think about.
Yeah.
So we
Karen.
discuss Karens in the comments, people that say, no, you're wrong, you're parenting. We get a lot of obviously parenting situations happening on our either our podcast or our TikToks and things like that, saying you've done this wrong, you're holding him incorrectly, you don't feed him this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So we deal with a lot of Karens in the comments. Do you have a lot of Karens in your comments regarding fitness or just general day-to-day life?
No.
Great. Moving on.
No,
so
You get the dating ones though, don't you? Do you
Sorry?
ever get the dating ones being like...
Oh, yeah, but that's on a different Instagram account.
go
But
on.
wait,
Tell
hold
us a good Karen in the comment.
We need a good
Come on.
Karen.
I'll give you a Karen in the comment. It's not so much, no, you're wrong, do it this.
Yeah.
It's more like, I'm going to ignore your advice because I'm going to try a different method that I've read that works for somebody that I know. It's
Okay.
like, cool. So my thing is, it's like people love a method.
Yes.
They ignore the principle,
Okay.
right? So like, ultimately, calorie deficit is a principle to lose.
Yeah, it
Unwanted
literally
body
is
fat.
like the
That's
cold
all it
hard
is.
fact. Yeah,
However,
yeah.
what they don't want to do is sit in a calorie deficit to the point where they're absolutely really happy with their body fat percentage and then do all the other legwork like building muscle and then reintroduce more calories so that they're actually maintaining muscle mass. Okay, people don't understand that. They haven't quite got that. But what they will do is spend £600 a year on 3 different diets that actually achieve a calorie deficit by removing food groups and can't possibly have red wine anymore, can't possibly eat chocolate, bread, devil. I'm like,
Do you
no.
remember juice cleansers? That was
Juice
a big
cleansers.
thing.
That was so
Oh,
big
yeah.
at one point. And mate, that just
I
gave
did
everyone
it.
ulcers.
I did
The
it.
acid in those
my
juices.
God.
Yeah, take all the fibre out of the
pain.
juice and have that.
Just have all,
Like, so
have all of the sugar.
That's really the Karen-y comments that I get.
Okay.
Also, I'm being honest with you guys, and by all means, everybody, you might be thinking, I've got to go check this guy on Instagram. I don't produce all that much content because I have so many one-to-one clients. I deliver about 38 to 42 hours of personal training one-to-one a week. So I'm left with no time to do like quality content. However, that's reserved for my online clients.
Sure.
So if you're interested and want to learn more, and I've got content for people,
I'm already hooked.
So there you go. So that's all I would say. That. But the Karen comments that I would normally get is, I had to put it like this. When I went and did that stupid TV show,
The Bachelor, by the way, if any of you have forgotten,
which was from 2018, I filmed it. So it's like a long time.
When did it come out?
We can leave.
2019 it came out, but it was filmed in 2018.
Did it come out over
No,
COVID?
it's not come out. No, I wish it would.
Is it on a
Boost
social
my
media? Was it Netflix? Is it on anything?
Channel 5, but don't like. Which is exactly why it failed. Nothing to do with the host.
Oh, we love a bit of Channel 5. Come on.
Well, anyway, listen. But when I first came, I got a lot of love from single women that would often send me nude photos.
Oh,
smashing!
Did you in the middle of like
you dream, eh?
Okay, I have to tell you this. Funny thing. It's like I was single not long after the show came out, and the relationship didn't work out, unfortunately.
I actually kind of want to poke into that a tiny bit.
We can do.
Just because, was it because, you know, it's the bright lights and the cameras and the everything of the show and everything being amplified, and then when you come out of the show, did everything just change in terms of like personality-wise, or was it just like,
I think, so it wasn't really on me, and like Alicia, who won the show, my ex-girlfriend.
She's a DJ now, isn't she?
She is DJ. She's very, very good. She's working in Dubai, I think,
Doesn't keep tabs on his exes, by the way, guys.
Yeah, she found it very hard to live because basically we recorded it, had to not be obvious that we were together until the show came out. Otherwise, nobody's going to watch it because they don't know the results.
Yeah. Oh my God, and you recorded it like a year before.
Yeah, well, it was like we finished filming in November and it came out in April.
Oh, okay.
So we were given a small budget to go and stay in hotels every weekend. And
wow.
As much fun as that was, it wasn't fun. So she was like, I can't do this. I want to introduce you to one of my mates. I was like, we literally cannot. Like Channel 5 and Warner Brothers are going to sue us if we like become public.
So that puts a lot of pressure on the relationship.
Pressure. So that broke up. Anyway, got back together. Ended anyway. The funny thing that happened about the Karens was I was then single, you know, in London, having a bit of a TV sort of personality, which makes me cringe saying that. Genuinely, I really don't enjoy it. But at the time, I was like, cool. I'm gonna get a lot of attention. This is fun. And I'd get like 4 or 5 girls coming up to me at different stages of the night, and I'm like, I'm in here. Cool, this is great. And they were like, oh my God, you're the Bachelor. Yeah, how are you? And I was like, yeah, Alex, nice to meet you. Did you watch the show? And every single one of them went, no, but my mum did. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Nice.
And then
Where's she?
She was like, no, honestly, I must have, if you've ever been to the Prince
I've loved Prince.
The Prince, good, cool, like social hangout. The amount of times I was like, give me your phone, open WhatsApp.
Do a video for your mum.
I'll do a video for your mum. So I had like this pattern.
That
was your shut up line.
I've just met your wonderful daughter, Jamie. She's an absolute credit to you. Thank you so much for watching the show. You must be the only one that watched it. You know, like this and the other. Rinse and repeat like 10 times. Never got a single one of the attractive girls' phone numbers. And,
mate. My mum would love to say hi to you.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I like that. That's quite cute, though.
Funny. It was quite funny. And like, you know, I wasn't really expecting it.
And do you still get recognised now?
No.
No.
Well, we're going to have to wrap up the show very soon. So we've got one thing that we'd like to quickly talk to you. We do have a lovely segment that me and Jamie like to do, which is called Besties with Brit.
Oh, for goodness sake.
But we're going to give a little twist. We're going to give a little twist on this, right? Besties with Brit is basically Jamie's inspiration in life, and someone who she's been following for a very long time and absolutely adores is Britney Spears. Jamie's loved Britney Spears since the very beginning. She still watches all of her social media all the time.
Yeah.
I know, this is perfect rinsing ground, by the way. This is going to be great.
Okay, can we just talk about why, though?
So
she is quite damaged, but she has meaning to her damage. And she's also writing an autobiography, which we'll all get to read soon.
So you're about to get a little taste of what I experienced all the time.
Sympathy for her.
I do too, as well. She's had it really rough, considering, you know, all the success that she's had. A lot of has come with it. Let's just say. Yeah. So for me, what I would like to ask you is, Britney Spears is an inspiration for Jamie and kind of always has been. Do you have any... Can't say that with a straight face.
No.
Do you have anyone in life or growing up that was an inspiration to you, both either personally or professionally or currently? Oh, that question came out sexy, like better than I thought it was going to. Continue.
There's only one man.
You're a one-man man.
I'm a one-man man.
Justin Timberlake.
Oh, should we have some guesses? You get 2 guesses each. You said JT, or are you not going with that?
Is he in fitness? Do we get like
No.
No, okay.
I mean, you got Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, definitely not. I'd say...
So negative.
Oh, okay. So you're taking JT as the first one. You get one more guess, Jamie.
Okay, he's not in fitness, so it's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I'm going to say Ryan Reynolds. Why not? He's hot.
Do you know what? He would be.
I don't know if it's an actor.
Yeah, I mean, you've both gone down the celebrity route.
Yeah, I said Justin as well.
If you say your dad, I'm literally going to... Wait, what did you say?
Yeah, he just said... What? He said your dad.
If it's your dad,
It's my dad.
oh,
It's his dad.
It's my dad.
Well
Cop-out.
done.
It is very much a cop-out, but you don't know Big Ron.
Big Ron.
Big
That's
Ron's my
so
guy.
lovely.
Oh, that's a lovely thing.
He's honestly, he's an absolute darling.
Is he a gem?
Does he work
Yeah,
out?
he's a gem. No. No.
Do you try and
Does he?
relay some principles onto him and he's like, shut up, Alex?
No, he's just like, okay, listen, he's all right. He's his dad never really showed him affection, so he's not particularly emotive. But the way that he shows love is so traditional. So he has a rose garden. He grows his own vegetables. You know, he's always got sweet peas in the kitchen for Mum, which Mum really
And they're still
appreciates.
together,
I thought you were
your
going to say she
parents.
hates
So
sweet
she really
peas.
appreciates, but she really wishes that he would hug her more.
Oh,
And
okay,
there's that
yes.
whole
Not a lot of
and
intimacy,
I tried
yeah.
to have this wonderful conversation about. I sat them down. We were on the Isle of Wight at my brother's house, and I was like, "Mum, Dad, do you know what the 5 languages of love are?"
Oh, yeah.
So we went into this whole like learning of what
We've
they were.
spoken about this before on the
And
podcast,
then
the
I
5
said
love
to Dad, I
languages,
was
yeah.
like, "Now, Dad, what you've learned from Mum is that she would like to have hugs. That's how she receives love.
Yeah.
How are you going to
Physical
love her
touch.
now?" He was like, "Pick her some flowers." I'm like, "No, you got it wrong. You got it wrong."
So here's his gift
he's
giving.
just very much
Yeah,
like,
here's his gift giving then.
yeah, it is,
And
but
hers
it's
is
also
physical
more
touch?
than that because he's
Yeah.
spent time
Acts of
cultivating it
service.
and like it's acts of service. Yeah. So
Yeah.
But that aside, like, you know, I think that generation just clearly don't have the time and space to understand what 5 languages of love are, because it's again born from
Also to
their
change-
experience,
also
of
to
their
change
generation, their
what they
father's
do,
parents was
yeah.
war and
Yeah,
other bits and
But
pieces.
then
So
you go off somebody like my grandfather who's into fitness and is completely like me now, which is so weird. It's like they taught these kids completely, don't know what they taught them, and then they taught us, but we've come out all like, fitness, yes, and none of our parents are into fitness, so it's really
It's a
bizarre.
cultural thing, isn't it? We've grown up in
It must
London
be.
where,
Yeah.
like, you know, it's the
I also
cultural
think it's something that we can
birth of
control.
fitness. Yeah.
You know, it's something that we've got very tangible control over, and that's about sort of being very physically present. Whereas when we were growing up, you know, the world was growing incredibly quickly, and the only thing that we could actually really control and understand was ourselves, or at least that's how that's my
Sense
sciencey
of.
understand of it. And I wish more people would do that. Or at least having an understanding of, you know, that's what they can control is, you know, themselves, their own breath, feeling the sweat on their forehead, feeling the heartbeat out of the chest. That kind of stuff is really physically grounding. And I think that's a wonderful experience for anyone, whether you've got experience in the gym or exercising or not, to experience. But yes,
Nice.
in short, my father is my hero because
Big Ron.
he's just an absolute sweetheart. He's a darling. He's always there to listen. He offers the same crap advice each time, but he is just my absolute hero.
That's so lovely.
But yeah, if you were to give a celebrity, I think what Ryan Reynolds has with his wife.
Oh, yeah, with
Blake
Blake Lively.
Lively.
It's brilliant,
So
isn't
cool.
it?
That's what I
Very
mean.
funny.
That's so
I
good.
want a wife like her. I
Yeah.
want somebody to rip me.
Yes.
Keep me grounded.
Exactly.
And then also produce
That's me.
beautiful
I do that
children
to
with.
you. But can I just say
Bogey in the
something?
corner.
The fact that your parents are still together, it goes to show that, hey, you are looking for somebody that is going to be long lasting because of your experience. That's one thing that where Barney and me, people always go, why aren't you married? Why? Because we go off,
No,
both
you
our
always say,
parents
"Why aren't we married?"
have both divorced. Both our parents have both divorced. So we look at marriage as oh God, people get divorced.
Nervous.
Yeah.
And it's a nervous thing. Whereas,
You guys are going to be together whether you're married or not for the rest of your life. Like it's.
I
great
hope
to
so.
see. It's
I
great
hope
to see.
so.
Right, baby. Alex Marks.
But what? Just sorry. One
Billy
second.
G.
I've just got to say this.
I want
so
you to say
sorry.
something first,
I'm
though.
really sorry.
Go on.
When you said that your mum and dad are still together, I'm just going to shout out to them. It's
Yeah.
their 50th wedding anniversary.
Boom!
this
That's
summer.
gold,
Is
isn't
that-
it?
do
That's
you
gold.
really?
They're golden.
Golden.
Golden wedding
What are you
anniversary.
Big
going to get
Ron
them?
and
Shh, don't tell. I can't say that.
Okay, Big Ron and...
Big Ron and Mustang Sally.
Mustang Sally.
Can I just actually add something? So, because of everything and what you've experienced, is there any advice you would like to give the next guest on Shhh Don't Tell Mum?
It could be a guy, a girl, a couple, parents, or obviously non-parents. Like, it could be anyone. So just maybe life advice.
Life advice? Well, it can be anything,
guest.
or a product.
Life or fitness.
Or it could be a
I'd
product.
like them to bring in a pump that expands their vagina.
And
I'd like to make
demonstration.
you to do the demonstration. Yeah. No, I just think,
I don't think it would work now.
one thing that we've often said on our surf yoga bit. Do we know what surf yoga beer is?
What do you mean?
Does the podcast know what surf yoga beer
So
is?
Surf Yoga Bit is a fitness retreat, and that's one of the reasons why me and Alex became so close, because they come away, they build communities, but it's also about fitness, but actually a bit of surfing, a bit of yoga, and a bit of beer.
A lot of adventure.
lot
Who
of
doesn't like a
adventure.
10 a.m. tequila shot?
I
SYB's like not...
After doing
not,
100 squats.
But it's not young. Like,
Yeah.
remember, like, we say it, and people are like, oh, it sounds like for 16,
Yeah, it's
16
not.
to...
It's really not.
No,
like,
it's
if you
like
put it like this,
30-year-olds.
when you said the word retreat, fitness retreat, it's more of a fitness adventure.
Yes.
So retreat is like green juices, introspective, like be mindful, step away from your corporate job. This is more like 10 a.m. tequila shot, 1,000 squats.
And then meditation
sweat,
at the end.
Have a load of fun.
Yeah.
One
is
of
a
the
load
things
of fun.
that I always say, and I think it would be a really lovely thing for your next guest to understand, is just lean in. Like, I always think people need to sort of like, yes, zoom out from where you are, but also just like really lean into the experience of sitting on a beautiful couch with two wonderful human beings, and just don't be afraid of sharing, that vulnerable side to you, questions and queries.
Nice. Lean in.
It's good, isn't
That's
it?
your little,
Baby.
in inverted
I'm
commas.
so
lean
glad
in.
we've had you on the podcast as
Mine as well.
our second guest and our first male on the pod. Congratulations on that
thank you very much.
little medal.
Appreciate that.
Nice.
but
We'd love to have you on again.
Yeah, and I can't wait to actually come into On Your Marks and actually work out.
Yes.
You're going to enjoy it. Barney's going to hate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is at on.your.marks coaching, and that is on Instagram. And is there any other channels that you currently operate on?
Yeah, so on.your.marks Instagram, then my website is oymcoaching.com, and then I have a personal, really posy, wanky Instagram, which is verified because I did a shit TV show.
Ooh, The Bachelor, by the way, if you didn't remember from before.
I hate that you keep saying this.
I know.
Called Alex P. Marks, but follow me on the On Your Marks one.
Would you
get
go
more
on
content.
another one? Another, just to like change the whole Bachelor thing? Would you go on another?
Okay, so quick,
Oh, I bet you they
quick
approached you
one.
for Love Island.
No, I rejected Love Island, and then 3 years later did The Bachelor. Anyway, they asked me to go out and do the Bachelor Olympics. So they flew me out to LA, said, yeah, you're going to be the star. We're going to get say with a 2-year working O1 visa or something like this. And I was
Damn.
like, this is amazing. We're going to live in LA. I get to move out of Clapham.
You don't want to do that. What?
and like the fee was really great. I didn't earn any money in the London from the one in the UK. So I was definitely going to do that.
Yeah.
But then what happened?
COVID.
They need to bring it back then.
Yeah, if I was going to do TV again, it would have to be paid.
And fitness related would be quite cool,
Fitness related
right?
would be great, but also, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to go searching for love.
Alex, thank you so much for being on Shhh Don't Tell Mum, and we really appreciate your time. We would love to have you on again. We really insightful episodes, something that's been slightly different from other episodes that we've done. Normally we just talk about poo. There you go, I mentioned it.
So
Ha,
nice.
ha. That was for Jamie's mum. And you know what, dude? Thank you so much.
Thank
You've
you
been
for
an absolute
coming.
gem.
Barney, Jamie, you're absolute superstars. Thank you.
Shh, don't tell mum.